of March 2012. A media release from the Gambia Armed Forces reveals that the exercise commencing at 7 a.m. daily routine and urges the general public, especially residents of Birkama and its satellites, not to panic. The general public is, however, warned to avoid the range area as live ammunition would be used. Well, time now to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the international news. Stay tuned in.
dañuy wax 2 weeks bu nekk dina am ñoo xam ne dinañu win bedroom set boo xam ne dafa ànd ak dressing table ba cupboard ba lal bi ak side table ba yëpp wala ñu win la ma ne toogu yoo xam ne toogu yu baax yu óor yu dëgër pour saal bi moom la ñoo win billahi Gamcel defati na ko Gamcel defati na ko Gamcel nee na rek billahi Gamcel defati na ko kër la ñuy joxe $100 rek nga xoos dugal ci sa biir mobile ndax ci ko soxla ba pare win ci kër tey waay Gamcel defati na ko waay Gamcel defati na ko waay ma ne kër la ñuy joxe kër ak ay bedroom set ak ay sofa yoo xam ne yi kenn mënu la ko wax ci taaru ci rafet tey Gamcel.
Welcome back. Early results in Senegal's presidential election indicate a close call between incumbent Abdoulaye Wade and opposition candidate and mayor of Fatick, Macky Sall. The former prime minister's camp seems to be preparing for a second round of voting. Meanwhile, the Wade camp is tight-lipped about the potential outcome of the votes. We have details in this report.
The party's already underway for some in Senegal. Early results in the country's presidential elections have left former Prime Minister Macky Sall and his team predicting a second round of voting is inevitable. Unofficial figures show Macky Sall and incumbent President Abdoulaye Wade running neck and neck. A second round of voting will probably take place on the 18th of March. After Macky Sall voted in the city of Fatick, where he's mayor, he paid visits to religious leaders in the capital Dakar. Some say he's acting as though the second round is already underway. For the time being, the presidential camp is keeping quiet. Without firm results, it's not making any rushed judgments. But it's clear on one thing, there's no shame in facing a second round of voting. According to the country's Independent Electoral Commission, initial results are expected for Tuesday. While the final outcome remains unclear, one thing is certain. The deadly pre-election violence has, for the moment at least, been replaced by a fragile calm.
A suspected suicide bomber has hit a church packed with worshippers in the Nigerian city of Jos. At least 6 people are reported dead and many more injured. Militant group Boko Haram says it carried out a deadly attack. Local authorities in the area are calling for calm. Let's look at this report for more on that.
Just 30 minutes when a violent explosion shook one of the biggest Christian churches of Jos in Plateau State. Over 600 people were inside the building at the time.
We were attacked by a suicide bomber who came in a car loaded with bombs. He wanted to run right inside the church, but he couldn't enter.
The explosion was followed by chaos and panic. What's left of the car that was used to carry out the attack and the state of the building highlight just how violent the explosion was. 3 people died, including a child, and dozens were injured. The attack has been claimed by the Islamist group Boko Haram, who is waging an open war against authorities in Lagos and the Christian community. In retaliation, Christian youths demonstrated violently, killing 3 people and burning down shops held by Muslims. On television, local authorities have called for calm, saying security measures had been taken to avoid more clashes. President Goodluck Jonathan has condemned these actions that threaten the country's peace.
The Gambia is bracing up for 2 major sporting events within the next 7 days. In just under 48 hours, the Scorpions will host the Desert Foxes of Algeria in the first leg of the preliminary round of the qualifiers for the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations. The Gambian team, under the guidance of coach Peter Bonu Johnson, has been in camp for the last few days, preparing for the crucial encounter. The Gambia is chasing its first qualification for the continent's biggest sporting, whilst Algerians are hoping to put behind the disappointment of failing to qualify for last competitions. For more on the build-up to this important game on Wednesday, and the first ever border door involving Gambian wrestlers, join Grts at 9:30 p.m. tonight for the maiden edition of Sports Tonight show. Well, let's now take a quick look at the weather report, courtesy of the Central Forecast Office.
The Gambia is endowed with a wonderful landscape full of baobab trees. Like its Cape Point in Bakau, it is one of the most exotic sceneries in the world. The baobab tree is a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and resourcefulness. For the baobab tree provides good food in times of hunger, rents its bark for medications, and its sap for glue. In the Gambia, there is a company like the baobab tree, 100% African and purely Gambian in all aspects, in know-how, design, value, capital, and management. That company is Elton. Elton, employing hundreds of Gambians and proudly associating itself with development in the Gambia. Elton, side by side with the Gambia.
Hello, and once again it's a warm welcome to the weather segment. We begin with a summary of today's weather, followed by the forecast. Conditions over the Gambia were mainly warm and sunny. For what will follow, let's begin with a look at the satellite image captured at 16:30 hours, indicating clear skies over most parts of the northern part of the continent. Below the equator was, however, characterized by convective cloud development and likely to result to rain over the affected areas. For our weather tonight, we're expecting a partly cloudy and breezy atmosphere across the Gambia. It will be relatively warm. Day tomorrow will be mainly warm and sunny. Winds will continue to be northeasterly in orientation, but generally light to moderate in speed. Morning temperature values are expected to be 20 degrees Celsius over Banjul. We're expecting 21 degrees Celsius over Yundum, Kenawan, Sibanor, and Jinoy. We're expecting 19 degrees Celsius over Kaur, Sapo, Njambure, Basian, Fatoto, will be 21 degrees Celsius warm tomorrow morning. Top temperatures are expected to be 34 degrees Celsius over Banjul. We are expecting 37 degrees Celsius over Yundum and Kerawan. Sibanor, Jinoy will be 39 degrees Celsius, as well as Kau, Sapo, and Njambure. Basian Fatoto will record 40 degrees Celsius, quite warm tomorrow afternoon. Wave heights are expected to be 0.47 meters at 7:33 in the morning and 0.58 meters at 6 minutes to 8 o'clock in the evening. High tides will be 1.49 meters at 16 minutes past 1 o'clock in the morning and 1.43 meters at 1:45 in the afternoon. Wave heights are expected to vary between 2 to 3 meters and will be mainly northerly swells. The sun will rise at 7:24 and will set at 13 minutes past 1900 hours. With that, let's take a quick check at the international forecast, and it's a very good night to our dear viewers.
Well, thank you, Hadi. And the maiden edition of Sports Tonight will air at 9 p.m. and not 9:30. The maiden edition will air at 9 p.m. And before we go, a reminder of our headline.